My name is Whitney Waters, and my presentation is on the population who struggles with alcohol misuse, abuse, and addiction. People who struggle with alcohol misuse, abuse, and addiction have difficulty controlling their drinking. They may be preoccupied with alcohol and are not able to stop drinking despite the consequences. They also may find themselves having to drink more in order to feel the same effect. They also suffer from severe withdrawal symptoms when not drinking. This population includes youth, adults, and even seniors. The size of the population. Locally in Utah County, there is on average 2.1 to 2.7% of the population that struggle with heavy drinking. Statewide, in the state of Utah, the percentage ranges from 4.1 to 4.4%. I found that Park City and the southeast side of Salt Lake City have the highest percentage of heavy drinking. Nationally, the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism report that 26.45% of people ages 18 or older engaged in heavy drinking in the past month. Internationally, the global population that abuses alcohol is about 1.4%. The highest prevalence is within the age range of 25 and 34 years old. The population of those struggling with alcohol addiction in Utah is smaller per capita when compared to the population of the United States. A major factor that may play a role in this could be the prevalence of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and its influence against alcohol use. Utah also has strict liquor laws that may play a role in which retail beer can only be made of 4% alcohol, and anything higher must be sold in a regulated state-run liquor store. Contributing factors related to the social determinants of health include economic stability. People who struggle with addiction to alcohol often have unhealthy relationships with their family and friends. They may have difficulty maintaining a job as well, and having and maintaining professional relationships at work. This may leave them homeless and or jobless. People who do work may only be in a minimum wage job and may prioritize purchasing alcohol over their basic needs, neglecting their financial responsibilities. Education. This population may have not had any education regarding the negative impact of substance abuse. They may have been surrounded by family members or friends who were addicted to alcohol when they were younger, but not recognized or understood the consequences. Social and community context. People among this population may have grown up in areas where programs were not available in schools and it was common among their peers. Society may have normalized drinking as a social activity regardless of the amount one drinks or the age. Health and healthcare. People who are addicted to alcohol among vulnerable populations may be in poor health, such as cirrhosis, cancers, cardiovascular diseases, neurological disorders, as well as suffer from mental health conditions that are often left untreated. They may not have the resources, such as health insurance, to receive proper treatment to improve their health and overcome their addiction. Neighborhood and built environment. If this population grew up in low-income areas, alcohol may have been prevalent and even normalized, which contributes to addiction. People may have felt pressured to drink alcohol with their friends and family and justify it as a social activity, but are not capable of limiting themselves. Some specific concerns include overdose, alcohol poisoning. This occurs when there is an excess amount of alcohol in the bloodstream, leading to an overall decrease of the brain functioning properly. This affects one's breathing, heart rate, and the ability for the brain to regulate the body's temperature. When a person drinks too much alcohol too quickly, their overall motor coordination is impaired. When people continue to drink despite the obvious consequences of impairments, an alcohol overdose can occur. Another specific concern is binge drinking. And according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Women who drink 4 and men who drink 5 or more drinks in a single occasion are considered binge drinkers. Binge drinking is a gateway to addiction when it comes to alcohol that affects one's overall health, relationships, and ability to hold a steady job. Liver damage, such as fatty liver disease and cirrhosis. Heavy drinking can cause health problems over time where liver damage can occur. Fatty liver disease can occur, leading to cirrhosis, which is where the liver tissue develops irreversible scar tissue. Some root causes may include family history and a lack of support from family, friends, and the community. These people may have a family history or a lack of support from their friends and family members. Because having a family member who has an alcohol use disorder can increase one's likelihood of suffering with addiction. Young people may have not had the supervision and guidance from their parents during their early stage of development, leading to involvement with alcohol. They also may have grown up in a community that did not offer support programs for alcohol abuse. Lack of education related to substance abuse. People among this population may have grown up in low-income areas where there was a lack of education in schools and/or community regarding the negative impact of alcohol abuse. This contributes to the vulnerability of the population as they become easily influenced when lacking substance abuse education. Abuses alcohol as a coping mechanism. These people may abuse alcohol as a coping mechanism for stress, PTSD, physical, sexual abuse, loss of a loved one, and being a victim in a violent situation. Alcohol helps numb the mental pain one is experiencing, and this prevents development of treatment and healthy coping mechanisms. And looking at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, their physiological needs are met. I feel like it would be the bare minimum because all of their resources and time and money are going towards alcohol, sometimes before eat, sleep, and drinking water. But overall, they're met. The needs that are unmet would include safety, self-actualization, esteem, love, and belonging. Their anticipated functional level, this population may have inconsistent relationships as well as have unreliable work ethic. They may seek to be alone and care for themselves at the bare minimum when it comes to diet, exercise, and sleep. Loss of job security may lead to homelessness, affecting their hygiene, self-esteem, relationships, and physical mental health. Overall, anticipated functional level is poor and unfulfilling. Likely health outcomes for those who struggle with substance abuse include illnesses and diseases, anxiety and depression, long-term injuries from driving under the influence, unintended pregnancies and miscarriages, and at risk for engaging in violence and overall poor nutritional status. And specific concerns related to communicable diseases or infections. Sexually transmitted diseases. According to the CDC, this population is at risk for sexually transmitted diseases as they may engage in sex with multiple partners. This can expose them to sexually transmitted diseases such as HIV, as well as put them at risk for unwanted pregnancies. This population may also ingest toxic levels of alcohol, leading to alcohol poisoning. Lastly, this population is likely to engage in high-risk behavior associated with illegal drug use, injuries, and violence from being under the influence. And specific concerns related to non-communicable diseases or infections. Alcohol can negatively affect the brain, heart, liver, and pancreas. It can cause serious damage to the body, such as neurological problems related to short-term memory loss, numbness, and pain in one's hands or feet. It can also lead to high blood pressure, leading to heart failure and stroke, and a variety of cancers. As stated earlier, alcohol can cause damage to the liver, increasing fat in the liver, known as hepatic steatosis, inflammation in the liver, and irreversible damage of liver tissue, known as cirrhosis. Over time, alcohol weakens the immune system, affecting the body's ability to fight infection and combat disease. Specific concerns related to self-care and self-harm. This population is at risk when it comes to specific concerns related to self-care and self-harm. Excessive drinking can affect one's ability to use their best judgment in situations, often leading them to engage in dangerous behaviors. The population is at risk for attempting or committing suicide through alcohol overdose or other destructive methods. They are also at risk for committing violent crimes toward others or being a victim in a dangerous crime. Lastly, this population is at risk for motor vehicle accidents and other injuries such as drowning. Specific concerns related to risk for harm by or to others. As stated earlier, alcohol can put people at risk when it comes to abusive situations. The person can be a victim or be the one causing harm in the relationship in a domestic violence dispute. People who drink excessively without having a designated driver also put innocent people at risk when driving intoxicated. This population that has children may not be able to work consistently, and so they could harm themselves or children in the home by not being able to provide basic needs such as adequate food, water, and shelter. Those who are addicted to alcohol and pregnant can harm the baby, which is known as fetal alcohol syndrome, resulting in serious birth defects that cause lifelong developmental delays. And here are the references used for the presentation. Thank you.